Okay, number one. Okay. Neighbor, are we ready?
Yep.
Oh, okay, we haven't, let's see, we don't have the mother yet.
Nope.
I'm
She's,
gonna go get her. She's not
Okay.
responding.
Is that Hernandez?
oh, my allergies are so terrible today.
Oh, mine too. I've been coughing since yesterday. I can't-
Yeah, it's awful. It's like you get rid of cedar, and my understanding is it's oak. Oak pops its ugly head up, and
Every day, every year.
we're just surrounded by oak and cedar. I have a lot of cedar out here. I don't catch a break.
Oh, me too. Okay, Ms. Hernandez, if you're ready, ma'am, let me get on the record. We'll get started.
Okay, guess I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second here. My audio recorder's a little slow. Just like me. There we go. Okay, this is 2020 EM 502667. We have Mr. Dolores Hernandez before the court. The other party is Jonathan Lopez. He was served August 26th, 2020. He has not appeared today after notice. Mr. Hernandez, I believe you'll be testifying in a few moments, ma'am. Could I ask you to raise your right hand to be sworn to testify? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Miller here will have some questions for you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Dolores Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez, what is your full name for the record?
Dolores Kiana Hernandez,
And what are the names of the children before the court?
Xavier Zeppelin Lopez, and Bella Mariluna Hernandez.
Thank you. Who is the father of Xavier?
Jonathan Lopez.
And you and Mr. Lopez signed an acknowledgement of paternity acknowledging that Mr. Jonathan Roland Lopez is the father of that child, correct?
Yes, correct.
And what is Xavier's date of birth?
1/23/2020.
Thank you. And who is the father of Bella?
Jonathan Lopez.
Is there any possibility that any other man could be the father of Bella?
No,
Were you having relations with any other man at the time that Bella was conceived?
no.
Thank you. Miss Hernandez, is there any history of, well, actually, let me back up one moment. Bella's last name is Hernandez. What do you believe her last name should be?
I don't know. I mean, throughout that whole pregnancy, I was like by myself, and when I delivered her, I was by myself, and it was very hard. So, at the time, I felt like she deserved to have my last name because he wasn't, around when he could have been.
Okay. So are you asking that the court order that Bella's surname remain Hernandez?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Is there a history of family violence between yourself and Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. In I believe it was 2020. Yes, 2020. We got into an argument. He put his hands around my neck. He didn't necessarily, choke me till I was out of breath or like strangle me or anything like that. From what I explained to the officers and everything, I told them what happened. They took it as the strangulation. So he ended up getting charged for that. But that day we did, kind of put our hands on each other, and I had to call the cops. I told them I didn't want any contact with him, so they put the no contact order in place.
Okay. Okay. So
And-
let me see if I understand. The police were called after this incident. Was that in August of 2020?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And the police were called. Was he ever tried on? Were there charges filed and he was tried on those charges or?
Okay, so the thing is that he when he got out, we had a no contact order. But we still saw each other, and he ended up getting the cops caught on him for doing he got charged for mischief. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But he broke somebody's window. So
Okay.
yeah, so somebody called the cops. They went into my apartment. They said that they saw him go inside there, and they said they had a video of him and what he did. And then they asked me, "Well, you guys have a no contact order, and it's about to expire, but it's still valid." So they took him back to jail, and when he went
Okay.
back, he was there for like
Okay.
6 months.
So he went to jail for violating a no contact order. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So he was in August of 2020 through January of 2021. Was he incarcerated?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And then did he go back in August of 2021 for 9 months?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. And then he in May of 2022, was that when there was a trial?
I believe so. I know he got out in May.
Okay. And he's on probation right now, is that correct?
Yes.
And is that for the assault against you or a different
All those 3 cases together.
all right.
In
Okay.
one.
And so you mentioned a no contact order. The no contact order forbid him to have any contact with you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And was there, and is this something you know, because do you have a copy of this or did someone tell you, inform you about this no contact order?
The first time that he got out, they told me, which I think was in the one in January, his probation officer called me and told me that we could not have any contact. As far as the kids, it was okay. And she just wanted to confirm my address. So she told me personally.
Okay.
I
So-
didn't have any proof of it since then.
Okay. And so she told you there's a no contact order and he's not to have any contact with you. But as far as you understood, there was nothing in that contact order that said that he could not have any contact with the children. Is that correct?
I asked her, about my kids, and I asked, if he was going to be able to see them or not. She said that the no contact order was just between him and I.
Okay.
It didn't involve our kid.
And do you know if that no contact order is still in effect?
This previous time when he got out of jail on the Bexar County public records, on his case, when he was released, one of the agreements was that we couldn't have any contact. He couldn't
Okay.
carry
And
firearms.
that was part of the probation.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Who do Xavier and Bella, who do they live with?
Me.
And who makes the day-to-day parenting decisions regarding the children?
I do.
And given that there's a no contact order, what do you believe that Mr. Lopez should be able to have access to medical records, school records, those sorts of things? Do you think that's in your children's best interest?
No, probably not. I mean, he hasn't been active or involved in, any of their school things or anything like that. So,
Okay. Has Mr. Lopez been visiting with the children since he's been out?
He will go to his parents because my kids go to their grandparents, which is his parents, on the weekends or every other weekend. So he only sees them when he goes over there.
Okay. Does he live with them?
No.
Okay. And so right now they're visiting with the grandparents have them, the grandparents, or is there another relative involved?
The grandparents and his older sister.
Okay. So they have the children at their home. Is that what the grandparents do? And then Mr. Lopez will visit them while the children are at his parents' home?
Yes. Mhm.
And is that something that you believe to be in the best interest of the children?
Yes.
Okay. And would that be, so the visitation would be supervised by his parents or his sister and occur at the residence of the grandparents of Mr. Lopez parents?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And would that be would that be first, third, and fifth weekends from a standard possession order, which is first, third, and fifth weekends from 6 to 6, Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6, and Thursday evenings, holidays? Is that what you're asking the court to order?
Yeah, I mean, as long as, you know, he has the option whether he wants to go and see them or not. Regardless, his grandparent or my kids' grandparents, they're going to see them, because they're very involved in their life. So, if he does want to see them, then he has that opportunity. And I'm fine, with that.
Okay,
And
let me interrupt. Mr. Hernandez, when do you take them over there, on Saturday or Friday?
It'll be either like a Friday or Saturday, but it is on the weekend because that's when they're off.
Okay, so say Saturday morning till Sunday afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
When do you pick them up?
It's always like on Sunday around after 5.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Keller. I'm sorry to interrupt.
oh no, and Ms. Hernandez, would it be in your child's best interest that children's best interest that the schedule that the court orders, that the drop off and pickup would be at the grandparents' home, and with Mr. Lopez ordered to that Mr. Lopez shall not be present during that exchange of possession, so that there's no contact to violate any order that's in place?
Yes, I agree to that. Or his parents, because usually his parents do come over here to my place and pick them up. So, that's an option as well.
Okay. And how are the children covered with health insurance?
They have Medicaid.
Okay. And do you have personal knowledge of what Mr. Lopez income is?
I don't.
As far as you know, is he physically capable of working 40 hours a week?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you separated, I'm sorry, your final separation was January of 2021, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
During the time that he was not incarcerated, from the time you separated in January of 2021, and when he was not incarcerated at any point during that time, did he provide any support to you?
No.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. You want to do some calculations? Does he have any other children, Mr. Hernandez, besides yours?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, good enough.
Okay, thank you. And Your Honor, what the state is requesting is that Ms. Hernandez apply for government medical, that medical support be set at $57 per month beginning March 1st of 2023, that child support be calculated based on the minimum wage presumption with no other children would be $273 beginning March 1st of 2023. The state has calculated retroactive child support judgment request of $3,340 with payments of $75 per month beginning March 1st of 23.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay. Okay, Mr. Hernandez, let's do this for today's orders. Parentage is established by the acknowledgement of paternity for one child and Mr. Hernandez's testimony on the paternity case. No name change. We'll name Mr. Hernandez as manager conservator of the children. Mr. Lopez as a possessory conservator. Visitation, and Mr. Hernandez, if you want to change, if you and he want to change the schedule to accommodate for your convenience, you can. But let's say the first, third, and fifth Saturdays at 10 a.m. in the morning to the following Sunday overnight to 5 p.m., supervised by the paternal grandparents or his older sister at all times. Okay.
Mhm.
Child support, medical support, retroactive judgment, and payout on the judgment pursuant to the state's calculations. Court cost is billed against Mr. Lopez. And we're certainly granted a non-disclosure of Mr. Hernandez's personal information. Will that cover everything?
Let me just check on the visitations. First, third, and fifth Saturday at 10 a.m. to the following day, Sunday at 5 p.m., supervised by the paternal grandparents or Mr. Lopez's older sister.
Correct.
Is drop off and pick up to be at the
Oh.
paternal grandparents' home?
That's fine unless the grandparents comes and picks them up at Ms. Hernandez's home. Whichever way works best for y'all, ma'am.
Okay.
Just need to avoid him because of the no contact order.
Mhm.
Mr. Lopez is not to be present during the exchange of possession. Okay,
Good way to put it. Okay.
thank
Very good.
you.